What is your position on the lack of available housing in the district? And what specific steps would you take to address this problem? In your answer, please address the issue of affordable housing. Also, if you'd like, include the problem of the low number of public parks in the district.
It's really a very, very difficult issue because it spans many, many different agencies, many different problems that come up. We need to do a few things. Firstly, we need to cut the bureaucracy. We need to cut the red tape. I'm going to give you an example. We talked about that first project of affordable housing that we did here in Boro Park. SEPCO was trying to build a new development. They were trying to build affordable housing, 15th Avenue Gardens. They came to me because I was with the buildings department, and the buildings that they were trying to take down were vacant buildings. They were real eyesores, and they wanted to knock those buildings down and build affordable housing. They came to me because they were working for 3 or 4 years trying to get the buildings down. The city's definition of an unsafe building is open, vacant, and unguarded. There were drug dealers living in those buildings. They were not unguarded. They were not vacant. The city wouldn't allow them to knock those buildings down. I had to work with the buildings department, with the police department, to get those buildings emptied of the drug addicts and the drug dealers, and then they could knock the buildings down and build affordable housing. Affordable housing is something that requires getting all levels of government involved. You've got to get HPD together, you've got to get the State Department of Housing and Community Renewal involved in the funding, you've got to get the U.S. Department of HUD, the Housing and Urban Development Administration. You've got to get everybody to work together on that issue, and you have to cut out the red tape to allow the building of the affordable housing. I want to help do that.
So this is actually a question that's very personal to me because, Marshall, I have a job, I make a decent living, and my wife and I still cannot afford to buy a house in this community for ourselves and our kids. I think that's why what we need to talk about is really specific solutions to address your question. And so, a couple of specific solutions. First of all, in the 60s, there are significant areas that are commercial, especially between 13th Avenue and 17th Avenue. I'd like to rezone these neighborhoods with the cash. So let's think about what's happening. Let's say you own a warehouse on 63rd Street. The property is worth around $1 million. Now, by the simple fact that we've rezoned the neighborhood, your property is now worth $5 million. Well, pretty good deal. We should all go buy property on 63rd Street. But here's the catch. You're going to have to split the profits with the community. That's right. Of the $4 million that you make, $2 million will have to go back to the community in the form of setting aside middle-income housing once your warehouse becomes condos. That way, we're going to create more housing and affordable housing for people who live in the community. One other great point. There's a great piece of property right now on 19th Avenue touching a park that belongs to the city. Right now, it warehouses garbage trucks. Folks, we can store garbage trucks anywhere in New York City. They don't have to be in Boro Park. I will work with the mayor and the city council to take that land from the city and build affordable apartments there instead. We could easily create hundreds of units of affordable housing there. And one final point, taxes. There's a very big problem that a lot of people have told me when I knock on doors and I visit them, and that is that the city taxes condos at a much higher rate than they do houses. Specifically, 1, 2, and 3 family homes are taxed at 6% of assessed value. Condos and co-ops are taxed at 8% a year. That's 35% more than a house. What's more, when there's a new condo, their initial value is very high. Of course, these laws were passed when most of the condos were built in wealthy neighborhoods in Manhattan. The government has to recognize that we're living on 14th Avenue, not Madison Avenue. We need to change the way that condos are taxed and the way that homes are valued to make it more affordable so that once you buy a house, you can actually live there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.